Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Dr. Julia Royston of BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, and the coaching community, the book business bosses, where I help you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and be a book business boss. I am super ecstatic to be on this evening with four phenomenal women who are published authors, and they're going to each tell about each of their books, and I'll talk more about what I've got going on later on. But please share. Please make a comment. If you have a question for any of them, please do so. They have some phenomenal books on some very important topics. So I want you to go ahead and be sure and share this out. It is the holiday season. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Yay! Oh, okay. I'm sorry. And it is holiday season. It's holiday time, all that good stuff. It is time to buy books for children, adults, and anybody else who wants to read. And even if they don't want to read, they need to read. So, but I'm all joking aside. I really have been committed to literacy all of my life as a retired librarian and teacher. Books have been a part of my life for forever, since I was even before I could read. So I am super excited to bring these authors, as I do often all the time, bring authors. And so if you're interested in writing a book, go to talkwithroyston.com. These ladies have been through that process, talkwithroyston.com. I am honored and humbled to have published their works and handled their babies. It has just been an honor for me. For all of my contact information, go to solo.to/Julia A. Royston. That's got all my websites there, all my stores, all my good stuff. And I'm going to share, I'm kind of doing the 12 Black Friday book bundles for the next 12 days. So I'm bundling the nearly 65 books that I have written, and I'm making them available for you: fiction, nonfiction, children's, inspirational, and business. Yeah, I write in multiple genres. So I am super excited. I'm going to introduce these ladies one at a time, and I want them to introduce themselves, tell me where they're from, and then also, first off, tell people exactly where you can find them on social media, whether it's my show on Envision, Live Your Best Life, or whether I just go live. I know that people are striving to find my guest, follow them on social media, and hopefully make connections with them and the information that they have available. So we're going to start. Let's start home. I'm going to start off first with Miss Brenda Moore. Good evening, love. How are you?
Good evening, Julia. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So glad to have you. So this is what
Thank
I
you.
want. I want you to introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, and tell us where people can find you on social media.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Brenda Moore. I'm a native of Louisville, Kentucky. I'm a mother of three adult children. I am a former school teacher and now published author. I have a associate degree in Christian education at the College of the Scriptures, Bachelor of Science in Education at Spalding University, and also Master of Education at Western University. You can find me at my website, Why Couldn't I See, WISOS POF.com, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Reddit, and also some of the small groups.
Awesome, awesome. Ms. Brenda Moore has been sharing her story and sharing her book for a while now. I am super excited to have been the publisher of her book, and I'm going to go off camera, and I want Ms. Brenda Moore to show us her book, tell us what her book is about, and then tell us where people can purchase it. I put the link up there. Go for it, Ms. Brenda Moore.
Okay. Here's my book, Walking in the Shadow. Can you see it? Walking in the Shadow of a Schizophrenic, Power of Forgiveness. First, I wanted to say, writing this story brought back memories of the stigma on mental illness. During my childhood, a lot of times people that were mental ill were kind of isolated, and it was a hush hush thing. A lot of times you would actually see them on the porch for hours. And when you inquired about what was wrong, you heard the responses were they were crazy. And I believed it to be because of ignorance, embarrassment, guilt, and even shame. So I wanted to be part of the change. So Walking in the Shadow of a Schizophrenic, Power of Forgiveness is a nonfiction narrative about marrying into mental illness unawareness, the survival of the struggles, and also the chronic um, situations that mental illness brings. I also wanted to be transparent and personal, use my personal experience with mental health and the effects. I felt like it gives me more of a leverage to talk openly with the Black community as to why we need to embrace, support, and fund individuals and families struggling with a mental disorder. You can purchase my book at Amazon.com/DP/1955 063133. And also on my website titled Why Couldn't I See at WISOS-POF.com.
Miss Brenda Moore's cover is one of my favorites, and it was an adventure of putting it together. But I think the graphic artist put it together beautifully, and she knows I'm all about covers, and her vision clearly came to life. Now, I must ask you this question because I just recently had a writer's workshop, and a lot of the people over the years, not just the past writers workshop, but I mean, period, have they get stalled and stopped from finishing the book because there's something painful in the story, or that they're telling their painful parts. And when they get to those parts, they stop. And I do know that your book, it had a lot of painful incidences that involved your family, your immediate family. So what are just one or two ways that you would offer suggestions to get past it? What did you feel like really was key for you getting past it to actually write the story and be ready to write the story?
Okay. One of the things that actually kept me pressing was I believe that it was a God assignment. And so feeling that way, and also the Spirit leading me in a different directions, even when I wanted to stop, it was like I would get a brainstorm and I had to get up and just continue writing. And then during those times where it was painful, especially in the chapter about my children, there were times that I had to stop, pray. There were tears, but it let me know all the more that it was necessary for me to get it out there, because I wanted people to understand the painfulness, but also the joy that can come from being in a situation and also be able to survive it, mental illness as well. And again, the main thing is I knew that it was a God assignment that I couldn't say no to.
Yeah.
I had to press on it.
And that is a certain has nothing to do with age, but it has a spiritually mature, not just an age thing, but it has to be a spiritual maturity to understand that. And I always try to tell authors that, remember, there are other people that are either in that situation. You survived, you made it. Yeah, you got the wounds, as they say, you got the battle scars to prove it, but you survived. What about the young person? What about the person who feels like they can't get out, or they're being abused in some type of way, or they're in a struggle and they don't know whether it's even worth continue to living? Is there another side on the other side of this? Is there something else to come? So, those stories may be traumatic and might be painful, but not only is it healing for you, but our prayer as we've gone through this process is that it's healing for someone else. So, I know that we talked extensively about the the stigma and, especially in the African American community of, of mental illness and getting therapy. I think we've come a long way. Don't you think, Miss Brenda, within the last year with the global pandemic? I think we got far to go,
Yes.
but I think we've come
And
really far.
yes, and Julia, even though I've had many reasons for writing the book, as I've published the book, there's been other clarifications as to the reason why it was necessary. One of the things, real quick, is when I taught school, I realized that children will listen to books and favorite characters in books before they would actually listen to teachers and parents. So whether it was on mannerism or behaviors or some life skill, if you sat them down and read a book to them, they seem to understand it better. And I think, and they got more out of it. I felt like they can actually see themselves. That's why I prompt the questioning. And so I feel like books can have that same effect with adults. And I really feel like that walking in the shadow of a schizophrenic, once people start reading it, they will be able to connect with it.
Exactly. And I think will help. You're right. It still is like I can identify and I can make a connection with it, but it doesn't feel like an attack. Like there's an actual
Exactly.
human being when you're interacting with the black and white pages, or whether you're interacting with your mobile device or your Kindle or your computer or whatever you're interacting to be able to download the book. You have the opportunity to stop, pause. You control how much you read, when you stop, when you pick it back up, when you reflect, all of those parts of a book. And that's one of the beauties. I mean, I can read books on all platforms. It doesn't matter. But whether you're needing it physical or whether you're wanting it in an electronic format, it is available. So please purchase Ms. Brenda Moore's book, especially if you know people that have been experiencing in their family with mental illness, and they may not always discuss it, but you know it, and you're a close friend and a trusted person that this will help heal the process, walk you through the process, and you'll know that you're not alone. So purchase Ms. Brenda Moore's book at www.wisos-pof.com. Thank you, Ms. Brenda Moore. I appreciate you and all
Thank
that you
you.
do, and your fight, and your bringing awareness to everything as far as mental illness, and especially schizophrenia. Schizophrenia. Thank you, love. Next is Miss Dorothea Maddox. How are you, dear?
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm fine. How you doing?
Doing okay, can't complain.
I know. Wouldn't do any good anyway. Introduce yourself and tell us where people can find you on social media first off.
Well, I am Dorothea Maddox, and I'm on Facebook quite a bit. So
Me too,
people
me
can see
too.
me on Facebook most of the evening. I work at a pharmacy warehouse. February will be my 13th year anniversary.
Oh, wow.
I'm a military brat, so I just didn't grow up in one place.
Oh,
I
no,
grew
no,
up in
no.
a
You've
number
been
of
everywhere.
places. So I lived everywhere. Yes.
So
Lived here, lived there.
Is your Facebook Dorothea Maddox, like your name is listed here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Dorothea Maddox. All right. So I'm going to go off screen. You tell the people about your book.
Okay. I have written a book called I Have a Lot to Say. It's about all the letters I wrote to people in office as well as other leadership positions. It's easy for us to complain about everything that's wrong, but sometimes we need to take the initiative and write letters to people who have the power to fix the situation and resolve the situation and change the situation. And I wrote the book to inspire others to write letters to people in office as well as other leadership positions with the hopes of receiving positive change in the world around us. So, and this is what the book looks like.
Tell people how you want to encourage them to write their stories or to write to government officials, because most people think that their words are not going to be heard, so people are not going to pay attention. But your book clearly tells us they will.
Oh yes.
So from reading it and from reviewing it, you have a voice, you have something to say, especially if you've had a bad experience in customer service. Sit down and Miss Dorothea Maddox will tell you how to write a letter. So her title of her book is I Have a Lot to Say. D.E. Maddox is the way it's listed as an author. You can get it on Amazon.com, or you can reach out to her, inbox her on Facebook, and she'll be happy to get you a signed copy. I think she's about out of inventory, so you have to hit her up quickly, and she'll make sure that you get a signed copy. All righty. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, love. All right, next up, let's go to Virginia.
Hello.
Hi, Miss April Taylor. How are you, love?
Doing well. Thank you very much. Trying not to squirm because I'm a little nervous.
No, we're here with friends. Come on, we've been in this virtual space for what? Going on 2 years now.
Yes.
I guess March will make 2 years. So we good.
That's right. That's right.
So you just here with girlfriends. We just having some conversation.
All right.
So introduce us, tell us where you're from, and tell us where people can find you on social media.
Well, good evening. My name is April Taylor, and I live in Madison County, Virginia. It's a very small town in central Virginia, beautiful mountains and everything. Basically, my first career was in print journalism. That was a while ago, and now I'm working in social work and also in ministry. I'm a minister at my church, and this is my first toe in the water with a children's book. And so I'm excited, learning as I go along and just having a good time.
All righty. So I'm gonna get out of here and you introduce your book, which is really fun. Bye.
All right. Well, thank you again for this opportunity. So the title is a little surprising. Does God have a butt? Let me see if I can get this so you all can see the because I'm really excited about the illustrations. I met a wonderful illustrator from Oregon, actually. So this, hopefully you can see it well enough. It's called Does God Have a Butt? And basically, this came from a real question from a 4-year-old that is very dear to me. What happened is that she called me one night with her mother, and she calls me auntie. She said, "Auntie, I have a question." And I'm like, actually, it was 9:30 at night, and I was coming home from work, and I'm wondering, okay, what is she going to ask me? And she said, "Auntie, does God have a butt?" Of course, I was a little surprised, and at first I thought she was kidding. But sometimes we really have to listen to our children, and I sensed in her voice that she was serious. She was asking a question about God, and you always want to encourage that, I believe, with children. So what surprised me, other than the question, was how much it made the adults think. How are we going to answer this? It made us go to some scriptures, made us think about some questions that we actually have about God. Not necessarily that question, but it made us pay attention. It made us pay attention to how some of the things we felt personally about God and whatnot, all from this curious question from a 4-year-old. So I was intrigued to hear Miss Brenda talk, because this also, I understand what she's saying. This was God inspired. Really within 2 days, I knew this was something that God wanted me to do, to write a small children's story about this little journey that this 4-year-old took the adults on, actually, to find an answer to the question. So that's what this children's book is about. I'm also excited that most of the characters are African-American characters. And, faith in God and our spiritual life and our spiritual health. Our faith again has been just a signature of our race. And if this book can in any way just encourage children to ask questions, just keep God in the equation, have families just talk about some things, about God and about their beliefs. I think that's a beautiful thing, and that's my hope. My hope is that this encourages conversations about God, and just keeps God in the midst of our lives and our heritage as a people. The next generation needs to keep that, because that's what kept us strong. So that's what that's about. And basically, I'm not on Facebook all the time. So the best way to really reach me would be through the email, which is author.sapril@gmail. So it's author.sapril@gmail. And that's it.
So Mitch Rachel Dixon says, keep God in the equation. You got that right. That's the only way we're going to survive this life here that we have, is we've got to have God in the equation. So we want people to reach out, author.sapril@gmail.com, so that you can request a signed copy from Miss April Taylor. And it is a very cute story. It is a very colorful story. The illustrator did an excellent job. It's amazing how God works. Miss April is in Virginia. I am in Indiana, and the illustrator is in Oregon. So, we, as they say, we make it do what it do. And thank God for technology and all that it is and should be. So be sure and connect with Miss April Taylor and email her, author.sapril@gmail.com, and super excited, and thank you so much. For children's books, they're really important for children to have in their hands, and right now more than anything, children want to be able to see themselves in the book itself. So that is one of the beauties of this. It has beautiful watercolors and all that good stuff. So reach out to her at, one more time, author.sapril@gmail.com. Thank you, love.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back home. Let's go back to Kentucky. Hey, cousin Lisa, how are you, love? So glad you're on with me this evening. Now, if you're just now joining me, you are watching the Royston Virtual Book Fair. I have some phenomenal ladies on with me this evening. I'm going to bring them back all at the end. And I've got one question to ask them concerning writing. But at this moment, Miss Peggy Dixon, are you still on, love? Say something to me. Are you locked up for me? Okay, I may have to have you go back out and come back in. Good morning, Katrina. Hi, love. How are you? Long time no see. Long time no hear from. I hope you're going to have a fantastic... There she is. I think she's back. Miss Peggy Dixon, are you back? Well, let me put her information up, and you can purchase her book on Amazon.com, as well as email her at peggybrucedixon@gmail.com. And also her book is available in Serenity Christian Bookstore in Lexington, Kentucky. And let me see if I can share her cover. Give me 1 second. It's a beautiful green cover. And her book is really the analogy of a tree. And give me 1 second. To see the cover of the book, which is beautiful. Alrighty. I hope you're enjoying the ladies this evening, and we'll be back in just a second. And so this is her cover of her book. Okay, you are the legacy, a generational tree. Give me a second. I will. Oh, hold on. Hopefully I didn't change something. Oh no, I stopped sharing the wrong thing. Okay, give me a second. I love technology, right? When it works, huh? That is her book cover. Give me 1 second, because I cannot share at the same time I share something else. So give me 1 second for my phone to tune up, and I will let you know. So the title of the book is You Are the Legacy, a Generational Tree. And one of the things about books is that they are legacy building. They live on even after you're gone, even after you leave, because that's one of the three main reasons why you do write a book. Hopefully your why is not just, I want to make a lot of money. Yeah, we do make profits from it. But the most important thing is we want to leave some blueprints, some information, some ways that the next generation does not have to follow in and make a lot of the mistakes that others have made. So the description is my hope. This is from Miss Peggy B. Dixon. It is my hope as you read You Are the Legacy, a Generational Tree, you will come to see that in your own life, old tree or sacrifice, as I call him, has been giving you love, advice, direction, guidance, comfort, healing, help, friendship, salvation, deliverance, provision, and protection along the way. These are truth seeds, which I hope we will pass on to the next generation. These are the seeds that build legacy. You are the legacy, a generational tree. So let's all plant seeds for the next generation, not just the seeds that will produce visible trees, but the seeds that only the heart can see. You are the legacy, a generational tree. Enjoy this book. So my question to you this evening is, what legacy are you leaving? What is your legacy? What will be said about you for the next generation? What will they say about you? Ignore all the lies, ignore all the naysayers, the people that have come in contact with you. What will be said when you pass on? I have, I think, 2 funerals within the next week to sing at. And I'm quite sure that, we've all had our fill of all the deaths and all the funerals. I know that I have. But, there used to be an old song that we used to sing at my home church. Let the life I live speak for me. When I'm buried in my grave and there's nothing that can be said, let the life I live speak for me. So there are times where when you're passed on to gone on to glory, you can't say anything, but the legacy you leave is the life you lead every single solitary day. When you wake up, the people that you connect with, the people that you interact with, that is the legacy that you leave down on this earth. Sure, people can say, people can do whatever they want, but the only person you can really control is you. You're the person that can determine how you will react, how you will act, how you will comfort, how you will be with, and how you will stand up and be with the community that you're in, the family you are in, the family that you support. So you are the legacy, a generational tree. I encourage you not only to sow seeds, to be a living legacy while you're here, and to leave a legacy long after you're gone for the next generation. Hopefully, Miss Peggy Dixon will be able to come back on with us, but you're able to purchase her book on Amazon.com. as well as email her to get a signed copy, PeggyBruceDixon@gmail.com, as well as Serenity Christian Bookstore in Lexington, Kentucky. So if you're in Lexington, visit the Serenity Christian Bookstore and get copies of Miss Peggy Dixon's book. Hopefully, we'll have Ms. Peggy Dixon on. We've had technical difficulties, but and things of that nature happen, but her book continues to live on. You Are the Legacy, a generational tree. Enjoy and purchase that book. So while I'm still here, for all of my books, or the majority of them, because I'm still in production of some. Let's see if Miss Peggy's going to be able to jump back on. Go to JuliaRoystonStore.com. I think we're here. Miss Peggy, are you on, love?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello?
Yay! Okay, so I want you to introduce yourself. Tell us. I talked about your book. I gave the full description of your book and where to find it and where to buy it. But I want you to tell people where they can find you on social media, and also what's the motivation for you writing your book?
The reason, well, they can find me first. First of all, let me say thank you for having me on. I understand technology, but I certainly do appreciate you having me on. And, I always say peace to you and to your family and blessings. They can find me on Amazon for my book. They can contact me through my email address, which is PeggyBruceDixon@gmail.com. They can also get my book online through Serenity Christian Bookstores, which is an online store in Lexington, Kentucky. Now, the purpose for me writing the book is to leave a legacy, that we would understand that there are estimated 9 billion trees in the world, and we are one of those trees. We are the 9 billion living trees in the world, and a tree lives from generation to generation, and we need to carry the truths that we have learned down to the next generation and pass them on from generation to generation. So the purpose of the book is for us to understand that we are a legacy and we need to leave a legacy. In the book, as I did get to hear you, though you couldn't hear me, Old Tree, whose name is Sacrifice, and Young Tree, whose name is Legacy, in the book, you will find that their journeys are much like the journeys that we go through in life, and the seasons that we go through in life, and the things that have affected us as we have grown in life. I look at this in two ways. I look at it as, yes, I'm 67 years old and I'll be leaving a legacy, but I have an aunt that's in her 90s and she is leaving me a legacy. So sometimes we represent the old tree passing on the information to the young tree, but at the same time, we are the tree that makes the sacrifice as an old tree to pass on, and we're also that young tree ourselves taking in information. So the purpose is to understand that we need one another. It's a multicultural book. It's a multi-generational book. It's a multi-dimensional book. By that, I mean that if you read it on the surface, you're just reading a book. But if you go deeper, you will find that there are truths that will help you navigate through life.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Hello.
I will and there's your information right there. So be sure and reach out to Miss Peggy Bruce Dixon at gmail.com. She is a minister as well. So she's available for virtual events, in-person events. I'm just gonna put it out there. Virtual events, and she's published she's published other books too as well on marriage and family. So if you're looking for her and her husband do ministry together, so reach out to the Dixons as well. They do multiple ministry. around the country or wherever they are. Ministry always seems to find them. I'm going to go ahead and put everybody back in. And I want everyone to take one final look at you and know that these ladies have done a phenomenal job. I say congratulations to you. BK Royston Publishing is honored to have published your book. As you can tell, I publish in multiple genres, nonfiction, children's, and of course, I publish fiction too as well. To purchase any of my books, go to juliaroystonstore.com. If you're interested in writing a children's book, this is kind of the last. I'm going to close it out tomorrow, but I am having a training on creategreatkidsbooks.com. It's a free training on Thursday night at 7 p.m. I just want to let you know, children's books, especially African-American children's books, are in great demand and high demand right at this moment. So if you want to produce a great one, join my training on Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to creategreatkidsbooks.com, share this link. I'll be shutting it down on Tuesday, November 16th at midnight. But until then, creategreatkidsbooks.com. We'll be logged in for about an hour and we'll be talking about writing a great kids book. For the next 12 days leading up to Black Friday, I am doing a Black 12. Let me get my window up. Hold on. 12 Black Friday book bundles. That's what I'm doing now. The first one, I'm started out hot right off the bat. So, you know, if you got kids in the room, you might want to cover their eyes. But anyway, that's where I am. So I'm starting off with my number one. The first day is the Men of Roberts Junction. Oh, yeah, I'm coming in hot. So you're looking at it and you're like, Cadence Royal, who is she? That is me. So I do write under a pen name. So if you've ever seen Cadence Royal, go, that's not Julia Royston. It is Julia Royston because I do write under a pen name. And most of the time, people who write under pen names are normally trying to either switch brands or, write under multiple genres. So I do write Christian fiction. This is a general romance fiction. So, a lot of little stuff's going on in here that's not in my other Christian fiction. Hallelujah. Glory to God. All right. So I wanted to write from a male point of view, and Hank, Dwayne, and Xavier. Xavier is finally ready after 3 years. It took me 3 years to write that, which is the longest I've ever taken to write anything. And but it just took me a while. I've been writing other things. So go to juliaroystonstore.com and get the entire set, or you can just get one at a time. So the Men of Roberts Junction. Be sure and follow me and find out for the next 12 days. I'm going to be having 11 more Black Friday book bundles that I just bundled some books together and similar genres. And that's what I'm doing. That's what we're doing. So Cyrus Dixon, thank you so much for spreading the love about your mother. Hey, Katrina, she said, great interviews from you ladies. Love, love, love. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, you may be nervous or whatever, but it can happen. People don't know about your books until you spread love and you provide information. In addition to just in addition to it's late. And they know I usually am in bed by 8 o'clock. In addition to having their books available, also reach out to these ladies because I know that we have virtual events going on. You're looking for speakers. You're looking for podcast guests. Some of you have podcasts and you're looking for guests. They're automatically going to be my guests. But anyway, other podcast guests, I want to spread that love too as well. They are available. So find them on social media. They're all on Facebook. April will probably be checking her Facebook more now than ever. But Yeah, I know. Me and Lisa's in the bed. Yeah, we gotta like to go in there early. But please, all jokes aside, reach out to them, find them on social media so that you can have them, especially talking about generational legacy. The children's book, children's books are hot for the holidays. If you have an issue and writing a letter, honey, Miss Dorothea Maddox will get you all the way together and she will take your letter all the way to the top so that you can get the management, because I know we're so sorry, we were short staffed. You took my money, that wasn't short staffed. Hello, I'm gonna get on out of that. And Miss Brenda Moore, in this holiday season, which is really critical for mental illness and the strategies and the support that you need, please reach out. I mean, we all say happy holidays, but some people's holidays are not happy at all. And so we need to be there for them. We need to be there for the families that support them, caregivers, etc. So I'm Dr. Julia Royston, helping you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and buy these books for the holidays. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.